absolutely. We'll go over here in
Oh,
front of
yeah, it's not a really.
in front of the flag. If you don't mind.
What do you want?
You're going this side of the ballot. Right hand up, left hand. All right. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, B.J. Cox,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
faithfully and impartially
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as a member of the Logansport Board of Works of the City of Logansport, Indiana,
as a member of the Board of Works of Logansport, Indiana,
according to law
according to law,
and to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Welcome, BJ. Welcome back.
And can I speak with you after the meeting for the paper? I'm writing a short story about you this morning.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. You got your packet? There's your seat.
Yeah.
Orange suit.
Who's this guy?
Our newly sworn in Board of Works member. You ready? All right. Good morning. It is 9:30 a.m., Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. I'm Deputy Mayor Jacob Pomisol calling to order the regular session of the Logansport Board of Public Works and Safety. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bless America. Roll call.
B.J. Cox.
Here.
Chris Martin, absent. Jacob Pomisol.
Here. All right, on to the approval of minutes for the August 16th, 2023 meeting. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Pomisol.
Yes.
B.J. Cox.
Yes.
All right, now on to the approval of claims. Dwayne, I did have one question on the claims. The stuff for the Treasury, is that the IRS stuff?
Yes, and that's been pulled.
That got resolved, okay, so,
That's actually been pulled.
so do you have updated numbers for
It'll
me?
be $113,000 less.
$113,000 less, and that's just the basic, from the basic claims,
Yes.
so, that's 113, 279, so we're at the whole thing down. So 443, 752, and 63 cents is the right one? Okay. All right, now I'll move on to the approval of claims for $443,752.63. This includes claims of $266,233.74, payroll of $265,298.89, TIF Industrial Park claim for $6,110, TIF Downtown claim for $2,444, and a TIF Combined claim for $3,666. I will make a motion to accept the claims as presented.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Pomisol.
Yes.
B.J. Cox.
Yes.
All right, any public comment? Anyone in the audience like to come forward and say anything? Seeing none, no old business, on to new business. As you can see, we have a new member of the Board of Works, so included in this packet is the resignation letter for Adrian Grant, our previous board member. And we're really excited to to have BJ on the Board of Works now, so glad to get him sworn in and get this going. He's agreed to serve out the end of the year for us, and we're really excited. I think he brings a lot of experience to the table in the terms of public safety and city government, and looking forward to collaborating on this board. Anything you want to say, BJ?
It's going to be different. I'm giving it my best shot here, and thank you very much for having faith in me.
Thank you. All right, so getting through that, we're going to move on to contracts and agreements. We have an independent contractor agreement for Crystal Miller. Kara? Morning, Kara.
Good morning.
What's Crystal doing?
Crystal is going to be the photographer for the Mother Son Nur 4.
Oh, fun.
Last year we had a volunteer, and so this year we wanted to kind of give the ladies and gentlemen the same special attention that we give daddies and daughters, so. And we actually have a donation that will cover that.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. I was just going to ask. All right. Well, that sounds great. I'm glad that event's going on. I think that's a pretty cool idea that you came up with. And,
Thank you.
seems like everybody really enjoys it. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept the independent contract agreement with Crystal Miller.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? Call for question.
BJ Cox,
Yes.
Jake Palmsall,
Yes. Thanks, Karen. All right. Now on to the street department. Application for curb street cut. These all the same, different? What are we looking at?
Yeah, the first 7 that are on the first page there, those are all for minor gas leaks all in the right of way.
So minor gas leaks in the right of way from 1503 to 2600. That- And then the other two on the next page?
The other 2 are slightly different.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and do those. So I will make a motion to approve the curb street cut request, 1503 East Broadway, 836 West Broadway, 3055 East Market, 2308 Smead Street, 2410 Shadow Lawn Drive, 2503 Usher Street, and 2600 East Broadway for repairing minor gas leaks.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
BJ Cox,
Yes.
Jake Palmsall,
Yes. All right, now on to 105 9th Street.
Yeah, that one is in the right of way to install a new gas line.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to accept a curb street cut request for 105 9th Street.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmsall,
Yes.
BJ Cox,
Yes.
All right, now 430 Culbertson Street.
And that one's also to repair a minor gas leak, but it's in an alley cut.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to accept the curb street cut request for 430 Culbertson Street.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmsall,
Yes.
BJ Cox,
Yes.
Thanks, Tony. All right, Building Commissioner, 719 East Market Street, Notice of Progress Inspection, Condemnation Review. Anyone here to represent 719 East Market Street? Two of you. Please state your name for the record.
David Nethercutt, Chief Operating Officer of Blue Light Inc.
Hi, Deva, President Blue Lighting.
Thank you. All right, Rob, go ahead.
Okay, on the 17th, we did a review inspection on the progress of all the violations that they needed to comply with. We had found still some of the windows in the units that were not openable and staying open. We've had a few of them. They were actively working on some of them. Some of the new windows had been replaced. Some new that had been sitting in the room that was going to be going in, but they were not in yet. We had found still some of the bathrooms, the toilets were still leaking. We've got some toilets leaking. There was one of the unit 1, a tenant has fallen through. I have reported to David here to the right, that he will need to verify for me with a picture that the rotted wood had been removed and replaced with OSB flooring. To me, it has looked like they had just laid over the top of the rotted wood, so therefore I'll need a picture to verify that that wood has been removed, because that is a problem throughout that building, that the rotted wood is part of the bug problem and the cockroach problem. It will never go away if that stuff is not removed and been replaced with good wood. So therefore, at this time, of the inspection, what it looked like to me, that it had just been overlaid over the top of it. And with some of the windows that was not in operation, some of them were screwed shut. The roof at that time was not being worked on yet. It has not been replaced. They are actively working on it. As of now, he's brought in pictures on one section of the roof. And then the front porch and balcony, he was actively working on that the day of the inspection. I have not inspected the work yet, but he was actively working. He does have pictures of that also, if you guys wish to see any of those. But I have not reviewed that section yet, okay? That was one of the sections that was very much unsafe, looked like it was about ready to fall off the building. And underneath there is a main entrance, one of the main entrances in and out of the building. So at this time right now, they are looking at trying to combine rooms. They need to decide whether they're going to be a rooming house or an apartment. If they're going to be an apartment, which I've discussed with him, they're adding bathrooms to some of these apartments, all that will need to be permitted, and there will need to be a state design release. There's just, it's a commercial building, and it has to be approved by the state. So they need to come with those plans to me, drawings, and permit them, and I will need to receive a state design release. So we're kind of sitting in that same situation with the occupancy level and bathroom situation. One way or another, whichever way they go, they still will need to come up with adding a bathroom or two. We're still sitting in that situation. So until then, until I review and see some of this stuff that has been done and the roof is 100% completed and all the windows are working properly, I can't release it on my behalf, on my side. I can't release it.
The porch has been completed.
Okay. So.
Robert,
Painted.
Rob, are there rotted floors you're talking about where the wood is rotted? Is that in bathrooms and kitchen areas where the
Bathrooms.
leaks, or is it just in general throughout?
Yeah, that was bathrooms, and most all the bathrooms. There was Unit 6, that one I do know that the wood had been pulled and replaced with new.
When you say you know that, how do you know that?
I visually seen that one, that the floor had been removed. It was down to the joists on that one.
Okay, then you've indicated that there are other bathrooms, or other flooring that's been overlaid, but you can't see it. I mean,
Yeah, the
linoleum or other wood?
common area bathrooms, that one was remodeled or replaced with new flooring. So therefore, I don't know if that one was overlaid over the top of it or not, because I did not see it stripped down. The Unit 1, I was there, I seen the hole, I seen that the rotted wood, the toilet actually still leaks. They stopped the OSB at the doorway of the bathroom, which looked like it was, it's over the top of the old flooring. that's how I can tell that that may not be been removed.
I'm not understanding about the overlaid. I mean, you can't, it's not like carpet that you can pull back and look, or linoleum you could roll back, or it's
No.
what, plywood,
So-
or something on top of it?
Right. So there, I told Dave here that they need to send his guy down underneath and take a picture from the bottom. If he takes a picture from the bottom and I see a new OSB, then he's removed the rotted wood.
You mean walking down into the basement and
Into
looking
the-
up, or are you talking about in a,
Get it back in underneath into the crawl space. I think that section is a crawl space, right? Yeah. It's not part of the actual basement, walking
But it
basement.
was tore out, so we'll take a picture of that here too.
Yeah, for the bathrooms, we have torn the whole, underflooring, and I have taken pictures of all that, so we can provide those to the officer.
Every bathroom's been
Every
replaced
bathroom
over
has been done
floor.
that way, because we didn't want to leave the rotten wood, because it would create more infestation, bugs and all that problem. So for that reason, we went deeper and took the underflooring out, and we have taken pictures as the work was done, so we have all the evidence.
we've got the Board of Health here,
Yeah.
doing some of this investigation?
So, do you want to report your report?
Hello, I'm Serenity Alter, the administrator for the Health Department. I actually went with them on the 17th to inspect the building. And at that point, in the past, you have to understand that when we've gone there, we've only gone on complaints. So we only inspect what areas of concern. So we've only been able to be in the certain rooms. We've not been able to see all of them. So on this day, I was able to go through the whole entire location. You have to understand that under Indiana Code 162125, a housing is unfit for human habitation when the dwelling is dangerous or detrimental to life or health because of any of the following: want of repair, defects in the drainage, plumbing, lighting, ventilation, or construction, infection with contagious disease, the existence of the premises of an unsanitary condition that is likely to cause sickness. A person shall not institute, permit, or maintain any conditions that may transmit, generate, or promote disease. And we saw a lot of that. So there were several rooms that had holes in the ceilings it was raining that day, so water was actively leaking down. There's pests. I know they have orchid, but it's definitely not working. There are cockroaches all over the building. I have pictures of live cockroaches everywhere. The overall cleanliness of the building is very subpar. I mean, there's one room that there's literally fuzz growing up the wall on all four walls and the ceiling. The room number one that the lady fell through, there's actually a child living in that room as well. I believe the child is around 18 months old, so that is very much a cause for us. The windows are still, a lot of them have been replaced, but some of them are still undone. I noticed on the second floor, there's a window that the screen is not even in it. If that 1.5-year-old would happen to get up there, that could be life-threatening as well. So we just still feel that the building is very unsafe.
I'd like to respond to that. I'd like to hear about that. The day they came in the morning, they came in, Orchid just went through. Anytime they go through, your stuff's gonna be moving around a little bit. I don't see bugs anywhere in there. I don't know where she's seen them. She said she's seen them in one downstairs when she was there. Orchid just went through there the day before, and then I sprayed it out the day before because we laid carpet in there. The lady falling through the floor, that really didn't happen. That was just kind of a made-up deal, because I was in there that day, I inspected that floor. I'm the one that noticed the leak. She never turned in a maintenance slip saying, hey, this is leaking. I said, how long has this toilet been leaking here? I stood on it, and I'm 250 pounds, and I didn't go through. It was not wet, so wet that you're gonna fall through the whole deal. So I had that replaced that next day, and I put new carpet in there, and I noticed she did have cockroaches in a room, and we went immediately sprayed, and then we had Orchid come and spray the next morning. Because they came out of 2 where these people were evicted next door. There was an issue with 2. They really destroyed that room, and we finally evicted them and got them out of there, and now I don't see anything in either one of the rooms. I've inspected it twice. As far as fuzz going up the wall, she's talking about these rooms that we haven't got to downstairs. We're completely redoing the upstairs right now. We've done some of the downstairs, and then we're going to be completely redoing it all the way down to the door. these are rooms that nobody lives in, nobody will be living in until we get to them.
Let me correct what he's saying here. One of the first.
Wait a minute, let's get him done, and then you respond.
As far as that goes, I mean, you know, with the original list that they give us, I've done a check on this, everything on here's done, and there's 2 subsequent lists after that. I'm pretty sure most of that is done. We installed 18 brand new windows. We got a roof going on. We had to repair the roof over 2 before. A lot of the leakage down there in 1 and 2 that she's referring to there was because of a cracked, you know, this was the roof over it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but what had happened was there was a gutter missing up here, and it was running water hard right down this tar line, and it was ripping the tar line out. So we had to pull all this off. Now we've got it all brand new and replaced. Now we can go down into 1 and 2 and fix those 2 rooms. The one she's referring to, I believe it's 2 about the fuzz or whatever. But the ceiling was coming down there. We've got all that pulled down. We've got the ceiling, the roofing fixed over the top of it. We're 2 weeks away, and that's going to be brand new from one corner to another. So, you know, it is what it is. We've already got the supplies there, and we've got the contractors, and we're rolling through there as fast as we can. As far as filthy, I don't know, most construction sites are filthy, I think. We got a lot of stuff, a lot of debris, a lot of things going on. You know, we're cleaning that up as much as we can. But that building is in better shape right now than it's ever been.
Well, that may not be saying all that much, is the problem.
Well,
I mean, it needs to get a whole heck of a lot better, it sounds like, before people can live there. I mean, are people living in these places that
Yes.
you inspected?
Yes.
there's
And you're
only
thinking
one-
it's.
There's only one tenant.
Wait a minute, let me ask you some questions.
All right.
As you inspected the building and the apartments, that you looked at ones that were inhabited by tenants.
Yes.
And one of them even had a 18-month-old child.
Correct. The child was not there, but the mother did say the child lived there.
Okay. And when you inspected, you informed the opinion that this was not safe for health and welfare of a person living there. These were places that are inhabited currently. When you were there last, that was what,
Last week,
Friday?
yes.
Doing an inspection. Cockroaches
Correct.
were rampant.
Yes, and I have pictures of live cockroaches.
And is there some reason that he would not be able to see those cockroaches?
I'm not sure. Did
I mean, are
people
they,
live cockroaches?
I was with Serenity taking notes and stuff, and taking notes for Rob. And there was one point, the lady that she had with her as well bumped a shelf, and as she bumped the shelf, the cockroaches ran up the walls, and they had pictures of them. And this was an inhabited room.
and some of it, I guess, with cockroaches, you gotta look for them as opposed to just.
No, we didn't really
They're
have to
everywhere.
look.
They're
This
everywhere.
was just one instance of bumping something and it happened.
We've had issues with pests for years there, and it just doesn't seem like it's any better. So, and as far as the ceilings leaking, it wasn't just downstairs, there were ceilings leaking upstairs. There was one room that was not, there was no one living in that room, but the mattress there was a big ring on the mattress that was soaking wet from the ceiling coming down. So, and in the past, we've asked that they have no regular mattresses, that they use air mattresses because of the bed bugs and the rodent and all the pests, and they're washable and they're replaceable easily. But they've kind of gone back to the mattresses again, and the mattresses are filthy.
Well, they're,
Those mattresses that are being used by the tenants you're talking about?
no, there's no tenant there using no mattresses. We don't provide any kind of furniture no more.
Well, it's whether you provide it or allow it. So if it's being allowed and
We
you've
don't
got
allow
bed,
it. Those
just
are
a minute,
risks.
let me ask the question here. I'm hearing about bed bugs, it seems like for the first time, and that seems like a very serious problem as well.
Now, I didn't check for bed bugs at that day. I'm just saying in the past, we've had lots of complaints of bed bugs. This time, we did see cockroaches. And we did see one room with a mattress upstairs.
Empty.
No,
That room is empty.
no. It may be empty now, but it wasn't empty when we were there last week.
Yeah.
Nobody lives
It's
in
that
11.
when you go upstairs, I don't remember which room it was, the man that was in, he was,
No one lives in unit 11.
No, that's the only mattress up there is 11.
was there somebody
See,
living
what
in
they're
that
not
last
telling you
week?
is, you go down this end, this whole thing's brand new from one place to another. They're not telling you about 17, they're not telling you about 16.
Okay, well, if you've got 20 rooms and 5 of them are okay, we still got 15
No,
of
it's
them
not
that
for
are.
now. We've
here's-
actually redone 11 rooms.
But here's what we noticed when we were there. We noticed, and I mentioned this to them, it seems like what they're fixing upstairs, at that point in time, the tenants lived downstairs. They weren't fixing what the tenants had, they were fixing like upstairs. I believe a lot of the maintenance men worked up, or must live there, or whoever lives up there. It seemed like those are the rooms that they were making into suites. But the tenants' rooms downstairs didn't seem like they were getting any attention to get fixed at the time. Maybe little things, but there was still, it was by far, cleanliness is still a factor. I mean, it's very, to us, I would say that it's not safe.
So,
We haven't been able to get.
Wait, when you say us, you're referring
To the health department,
department?
yes.
And your standards are for
For
people
cleanliness.
being able to live there
Exactly.
safely,
Exactly.
healthfully.
Yes.
Healthfully, I don't know if that's the right word, but is it,
I want to add something here. The lady in Unit 1, she is a con artist. She basically has no job, she doesn't want to pay rent, we have to evict her because she just started making up things. Oh, I'm going to take some, she is the one who brought some roaches and started taking pictures. And then she says, I'm not going to pay any rent, and she also did this frivolous falling down in a hole because when he jumped on, when he was standing on the floor, there was no hole, okay? She is supposed to notify us that, look, there is a problem. Instead of notifying us, she called Rob, okay? We have no idea what's going on. And Rob went there, and then we had no idea what's going on here. So she has this idea that she can live there for free without paying any rent and doing whatever she wants to do, and then create problems. And now she's talking to an attorney, wants to bring some frivolous lawsuits. So all these things are totally out of line. These are not the kind of people we will continue. I'm filing eviction today. He has to go because the so-called tenants are nothing but troublemakers. And we have a lot of those kinds. So right now, we have, just lately, we got rid of 4 or 5 of those tenants, which he didn't bring up yet. But right now, we have very limited number of people in the
how many
building.
people do you have living in that place?
Okay,
3 people, 3 tenants,
Yeah,
paying rent.
yeah. I kicked everybody out. I removed
When,
to get these rooms done.
when?
Rob,
last 3 weeks.
Since the last review.
Since the last visit.
since the last review, I guess.
So last Friday, when the place was inspected, how many,
Since 7/14, our last review, that we brought it back in, for that inspection, and then we brought it back in.
how long has this place been owned by you? You know how long you've owned the building and have been renting it out like this?
2017.
2017. The other thing you want to bring up is the next door, obstruction of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you want to go ahead?
Apparently, Mr. Bauman or these guys over here next door have, there's a situation going on. We got a legal case on it, but there's an alleyway there that they took over and it became an easement, something like 1962. And they're not allowing trash trucks to come through there to pick up trash. So for like the last 2 weeks, they wouldn't allow any of our trash trucks to come through there. So we got backed up a little bit in construction, and when they got there, we had a lot of stuff sitting around that needed to really be removed. Situation I'm taking care of in court, but there's a public easement there that they're not letting people through. They don't let minivans through there. They won't let nobody drive through there, and it's creating a serious problem for us trying to get our trucks back in and out, and our dump truck and all these things. So that was the situation. We did finally restore trash service, and now we got a big dumpster for the roofing. Once the roof is done, about 2 weeks after that, that place is going to be brand new from one end to another, and it's going to be all over. But the shape, it appears the way they're sounding, it's not that bad a shape. We've got Orchid in there. We're working on it ourselves. There are no bed bugs anywhere in there. We heat treat. 18 brand new windows, $40,000. I mean, we've done about everything that they've asked us to do on 1, 2 lists. So we're going as fast as we can. If people bring cockroaches in there, like that lady in 1, we don't really know about it because we're not in the room. And until I went in to put new carpet in that room, and then I noticed the wet floor, and I noticed the bugs, and we immediately treated it that day. And then we had Orchid come back the next day and spray the heck out of it. So, and then right, like a day after that is when the health department comes through. So when they go in and spray, anything in there is gonna be starting to move around because they're trying to hide from that. And, so, you know, we're working with Orchid as fast as we can to get that done. However, that renter really should have been moved. She said she was gonna move on the 29th. I wanted that room empty so that we could go in, so we were kind of waiting to do that. Right now, we had a porch we had to deal with immediately. It was an immediate situation. It was an emergency situation, and it's completely redone. Now we're doing the roof because there's 5 leaks throughout the building.
It sounds as though you're trying to remodel, which is a worthy objective, it sounds like, and necessary, but you're doing it with people living there, and the people living there are being subjected to a bad situation that they shouldn't have to live in a condition like that. And it sounds as though if we say, okay, great, move on ahead, but let's get the tenants out of there into a healthy place while this is going on.
Well, in my point, asking how long you've owned it, and I think you just lied to me about how long you've owned it. 2017? I don't think that's true at all.
Blue light. Blue light.
I'm talking about you. How long you've been involved? Blue Light. I'm looking now. Blue Light purchased it in 2007, and then transferred it to you, and then transferred it back to Blue Light. So don't tell me that when it's not true, because what you're trying to do is blame the tenants for the condition of the building, and you've owned it for 16 years. You've had the same bad tenants for 16 years that are the reason that the building is in this shape, and that the reason that we have cockroaches and these things.
No.
I don't believe that.
We didn't have any problem until
How that's relevant.
So,
It's entirely
We're
relevant.
living in today, not.
No, I'm just, you're trying to shift blame and say, oh, we threw these tenants out, so now things are gonna be okay. When in reality, that's not even close to the case. And the fact of the matter is, the things that you say that you've done are included in this inspection packet, those rooms that have been done, room 17 you mentioned. That's in there. But even with that, the pass-fail rate for this reinspection, you're at 47% passing. Out of all of these pass and fail check marks, 47% pass. So, just like anything else, you failed the test. You have to take it again. I mean,
That was the inspection before the last one, right? Because we didn't fail any of them. I don't know, did we, or? I don't know. They don't give us a list of that stuff, so we don't know. But, I don't see anything in there.
Final review, 8/17/23.
I disagree.
That's
I
what I'm
don't see
looking at.
any of that stuff that fails.
Well, I know that you don't, because apparently you guys have been blind to it, but
Blind?
we have the building commissioner and all of these pictures, we have the health department that's saying that the places that you have these people living are unsanitary and unsafe. And
Okay.
so, this was a condemnation review, and
Because of a cockroach.
you failed.
because of cockroaches.
The what?
Okay, so the moment they see a
All we can
cockroach,
do is spray 'em.
the Orkin is coming and spraying since March, April they started. We have been additionally spraying. What else do you want us to do?
Yeah, you want us to go catch them by hand?
Get rid of the cockroach problem. I mean, it's an unsanitary environment that you're renting out to people, that you want to rent out to people.
I don't see that.
And you're under condemnation right
Way.
now.
It's empty. There's nobody in there.
It's his room.
so I said a long time ago at the beginning of this to him, to Deepa, that he needs to put a plan in place. If, you know, you go to a hotel or a motel, they change out the sheets, they wash them, come back in, they put the sheets back on. That's normal protocol for hotels and motels. If you're a rooming house, that's what you are. It's kind of similar to the same thing. You need to be in these rooms at some point in time to verify what's in these rooms. And I think that you do it more like a rental where, you know, they're not in the rooms at all for a month or even longer. So you don't know if your toilet's leaking in that bathroom or if there is a bug problem. If you're a rooming house, you need to operate it and put in a structured cleaning system that sheets and things that shouldn't be allowed in the room. Your rooming house is not an apartment. You do not have kitchen and sinks
vents and all that in your room. So you need to put in a place, something in place to, all these rooms are getting cleaned daily or weekly.
We are not functioning as a motel, we are functioning as an apartment, and we have to evict people, which clearly tells this is an apartment building. And I can change the name, which is the motel, I can change it to the whatever else, you know.
But whatever it is, the circumstances don't sound appropriate for anything in any of these categories. It sounds as though, and let me ask the Board of Health, should these tenants be evicted so that the work can be done and be done properly and totally? And then, Rob, there's a system, isn't there, for giving occupancy permits for apartments and rooms that once the remodeling has been completed and the electrical inspection and the plumbing inspection and the Board of Health inspection, that people can be allowed back in there safely. It's a moving target. I can appreciate that would be tough, but if you're not staying on top of it and are trying to do it piecemeal, it's going to be impossible. And we got people that are living in unsanitary, unsafe, and if you have an 18-month-old child staying there as a motel, as an apartment, whatever you want to call it, that gets sick and ill and dies, what's the excuse then? Well, we were trying to get it done. I mean, I think we need to get something.
That's an old tenant there that, I mean, she was in here before.
Well, then she's your fault for being there that long. So don't start blaming her for being there and complaining about the
Blaming anyone
situation
for being
that
there.
you've
She's
allowed
on
to
her way
exist.
out. When she does, there's nobody down there. We're gonna be moving down there next. But
We
You're
are
in
gonna-
charge of your home there. That's your castle for you guys to control, and who gets in there and who is your responsibility. I think that the Board of Health has spoken quite eloquently here this morning as to why you guys are not meeting the standards that you ought to be meeting, whether you're an apartment house or a motel, rooming house, whatever you want to call yourself.
I really don't think that room's in that bad a shape. I just put brand new carpet in there, brand new floors in the bathroom. There's nothing wrong with that room.
Well, maybe we need somebody
Other than
to look
maybe
at
some
it.
cockroach
besides you.
infestation, which will run Orkin through there again. But, you know, they're gonna be back on down there 2 week, here in about 3 days, so.
It's not just one room, it's a lot of rooms. Almost every room downstairs. It wasn't just one room that the cleanliness was an issue, it was multiple. There was one room that I had to walk out of because it was so bad. I bet there were 1,000 flies in there, and the stench was so bad I had to walk out of. But that was just one of the rooms. There are multiple rooms down there, so.
But there's a brand new room right next to that room this way and this way.
But those rooms
It's
don't
like,
make up for the rooms that are
We gotta
bad.
move people to a different, to one of our new rooms to actually do their room. See, that's number 7, what you're referring to.
I also would like to see something that, when you do start allowing tenants back in, how is it going to stay clean, and how are we not going to end up in this situation again? Because I know for years I've been going there, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better, and now that we've seen all the rooms, it is worse. And it's not just the tenants, I think, that are, I mean, no offense, but I think your room needs a lot of help as well. I mean, I did see live cockroaches in your room as well.
Well,
So-
the issue is when Orkin is gonna spray, they're gonna run around and you see those roaches, but we are doing everything. I don't see at all any reason for health reason that you condemn this property. It is absolutely untrue. I don't agree with you, and I'm gonna challenge it.
I've been in that place many times. January, February, and March. I know it's been a while since I've been there. But I wouldn't let a dog live in there. You walk into the first room and your feet stick to the floor. You know, the place is atrocious. I wouldn't let anybody live in there. And if you have someone living there now while you're doing work, they should be out, period. And
We have-
bomb the whole house and then rebuild it.
I don't think you've been in there lately, maybe.
I don't really want to go
I
in
think
there.
August 17th is fairly recently. And if you're saying things have had a miraculous change in that period of time, God bless you. But I mean, it doesn't sound feasible, doesn't sound reasonable, and doesn't sound believable.
Okay, let me add something here. They are talking only,
There's-
you know,
there's
they are
just
not
what
talking
they make
about
their
all the
decision.
great things we have done. They will keep dragging the negatives. In fact, when Dan Musselman spoke to me, he said, look, the only thing I want done is 2 sinks.
Yeah, and he
Okay?
passed our health inspection.
Number 5 and number 7, if that's done, and health inspection is done. Now suddenly they come back with her
And they
drag
need to
us-
keep coming back. it
Yeah, no,
sounds
no,
like,
they can
because
keep
you
coming. I
ignore
have no
those
issue with that, but when we are doing great things, they don't recognize what we have done. They keep, oh, roaches are running. Roaches are running because. all
Our
in a
inspection was
street.
only on complaints. So when Dan went, it was only on a complaint. Dan didn't get to look at all the other rooms. Dan has never been through the other rooms. So when I took the pictures back, his thought changed everything as well. He now agrees, because Dan was not allowed in any of the other rooms. Again, we only go to inspect based on our complaints.
Dan had inspected
He's
originally
inspected
in
everything.
every single room.
No, he has not.
Several times.
All the great things you say you're doing are catching up after 16 years of neglect of this property. It's really where we are at this point, and you're still, after all of this time, at only a 47% pass rate on these inspections. I mean, that's
16 years. This thing has started just,
man. Is
just
that right,
lately.
Rob?
I mean, where do you have 16 years of history that we didn't do anything?
Would you agree
I'm
with
saying
that?
you have owned it for this long, and it's in this bad.
No, you are assuming that it's in a bad.
Do you
bad
agree with
shape.
46.7% of this list?
I mean, I got a lot of bills right here. Some of them may be.
Yeah, they see a roach, they say fail. That's what
Dave.
he does. He goes, oh, 2 roaches, fail. That's what he's doing.
Dave,
I've stated that there has been a big improvement on the cockroaches
Yeah.
in our past
Okay.
reviews.
Yeah. All right, so at this point, it was condemnation review. We've heard from all the parties. I'm not going to lift the condemnation. I don't know that we have to take any action at this point. I don't know what your next step is, Rob. What are you thinking on going forward on this? And how can we make sure that people aren't living in these conditions, is my question too.
They need to move these tenants.
Number one
and-
is
hang
being
on, I'm
evicted.
talking.
Yeah, number one is being evicted.
Yeah.
I don't even care about that.
Okay.
Any tenants that are in any of the rooms that are unhealthy, unsatisfactory, failed anything, they need to be moved to a different room that has been passed.
I don't think it's moving to a different room, because it's what seems to be the explanation and excuse. We move them to another room, they dirty up that room and cause a problem.
Exactly.
We need to get them out and get a clean slate, so that whoever moves in there moves into a place that's acceptable for human habitation.
Yeah, it's been under condemnation. I think we've given enough time to let them try to work these things out. So now it's time to start enforcing that the entire building is, it's not this room is under condemnation or that room's under condemnation. The entire building is at this point. And until you make satisfactory improvement, and don't tell me about all these great things you're doing when you're not even at 50% pass on your inspections. So that's where I am right now. So I don't know, it's already under condemnation. I don't know what we need to do here today, but.
all right, so we call for a decision, I guess. Let's go ahead and go.
I think we need a decision about whether we take action to get tenants out of the place so that it's free, and then it becomes a new project that you guys can accomplish and get done, and probably move a lot faster if you don't have.
That because he knows there's some rooms that are brand new. We've been through a lot of rooms, so we could be moving them over. We have to move them to a new room to do their room. So I disagree and I object to anything about condemnation with that building. It's getting a new roof. The windows in the roof and that porch were the reason for the condemnation to begin with. All that's being changed right now, or it's already done. So I showed an objection on the record to any further condemnation. We're gonna continue on over here. 2 weeks, you wanna drop by, it'll be all brand new and we'll see how it goes.
No,
Let's get
I don't do that
Randy's.
fast.
Randy, do you have something?
When he said something about the issue with the neighbors and the public, I called and checked into it, and I think Serenity called and checked into it as well. It is not an issue with them using the easement. The issue was the funeral home next door was not allowing a 3-point turn in their parking lot, their brand new parking lot. Their suggestion to them was to move the dumpster to a different location so they could do the 3-point turn in their parking lot. Because of the lack of response for 3 weeks, they closed their account and pulled their dumpster. That was speaking to the people at Republic. They tried numerous times to contact him and got no response.
Try to contact.
So, contact Mr. Deaton.
Yeah.
So I did call Republic after I talked to him. I talked to the people that I talked to, the connections I had and stuff, and that's exactly what I found out, why their account was closed and they removed the dumpster.
Okay, let me respond to that. I talked to them and they said they wanted to remove the dumpster and they were not being allowed by the next door neighbors. And so I said, okay.
Okay, we're not condemning the building because of the dumpster problem.
Well,
That's
Is it resolved?
It's been,
Resolved is resolved, so let's,
Yeah, we had a lot of trash bags filled up because our dumpster was not being moved for 2-3 weeks.
that's
We're
been
in
solved,
a
right?
construction project, so it's kind of hard to get rid of debris, and when they went through, it probably looked a little crazy because there's a lot of debris here and there, but
That has been solved, you're telling
that's
me.
been solved, and we
Yeah.
have a new
So let's-
system, yeah, so that's neither here nor
Okay,
there.
I'm gonna make a motion at this point to affirm the condemnation of 719 East Market Street, as well as to enforce that condemnation to keep tenants out of there until it's lifted. So that's my motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
I object.
Call for question.
Wait till it's done.
BJ Cox,
Yes.
Jacob Thompson,
Yes. All right.
Show an objection to the record. to that.
It'll be in the minutes. Thank you, Serenity. Thanks, Rob. All right. Now we're on to code enforcement. Randy, stay up here.
that's why I didn't move. Good morning. Last week, we had 24 new trash letters sent out. I had 21 cleared from the week before, sent out 5 citations, did 60 trash container warnings, tagged 4 more cars. I had 6 that were cleared from the week before. Sent out 12 new notices for grass and 7 that were cleared the week before. We had 10 that were sent over to the street department. We had 3 second notices sent out, 3 that were cleared, and 5 more properties put on the permanent mowing list. Sent out 5 new notices to appear last week and had no more properties coming in yet.
Great. All right. I will make a motion to accept code enforcement's weekly report.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Hey,
Call for question.
Jacob Thompson,
Yes.
BJ Cox,
Yes.
All right. Now we're on to property cleanup request, multiple violation properties, 1005, 1007 North Street. Is anyone here to represent 1005 or 1007 North Street? Seeing none, Randy, go ahead.
This was a mattress located on the property. As of this morning, it's cleared up, but this is a multiple violation property. Mr. Torres has multiple rental properties, and we've had this discussion with her several times on how the trash system works and stuff. This was, her first violation was in January, and we had one now, so it falls under the 2 and 12.
Same issue?
Same issue. We've had other issues with grass issues, and we've had some building issues with it, but for this part, this is the second time we've had a mattress issue on this property.
Where would this fall under our,
This would be under our T1, which would be the, anywhere from 0 to a $500 fine.
okay.
property's okay, other than mattresses?
Yeah, for the most part, she's been trying to take care of it, but I believe it's the tenants that are causing the issues.
It's rental.
Yeah, but it is cleared up as of this morning, so.
Well, what would you recommend? You think?
I would say maybe that's
One?
maybe 250. I mean,
That's what I was,
just to give her a chance to come in and appeal at least and speak for her property.
and make her pay attention. It's a very simple
Yeah,
fix.
especially when you have a rental. It's very important to watch your rentals,
Yep.
so.
All right. What do you think, BJ? 250, hope she appeals?
That sounds fine.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to vote on the property cleanup first, since we don't need to do that.
Second.
All right, call for question.
BJ Cox,
Yes.
Jacob Thompson,
No. This will be the final one, will be the next one.
Okay.
Sure. You're good. And then I will make a motion to fine property at 1005 North Street, $250 for multiple violations with the opportunity to appeal.
This is 1005 and 1007 together?
Yes. Yeah, that's the apartment.
Same unit, yeah.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Thomasville,
Yes.
BJ Cox.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Randy. All right, that's everything. Board member comments? BJ, have anything after your first meeting?
I'll keep holding him in here so he didn't take off running.
Really interesting, thank you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you doing this and stepping up. It's a great service to the city. And that's all I have. So we will move on, miscellaneous business and any matters not already considered, including ADA Section 504 compliance or concerns. Seeing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, call for question.
BJ Cox,
Yes.
Jacob Thomasville.
Yes. All right, we're adjourned, 10:20 a.m. Thank you, everybody.
Boom. Yes.